Hey, it's Helen Smith with the Weekend Briefing here. Amy Shark has just released her new album, Sunday Sadness, and we sat down with her on the eve of the release to find out what it's all about. Let's get into it. Amy Shark, welcome to the Weekend Briefing. Firstly, I want to go back to your childhood and teenage years growing up on the Gold Coast. What kind of music did you listen to?
I think like when I sort of graduated from the Spice Girl era or whatever was, top of the pops. And I think the first band I found was Silverchair, just because my parents were quite young. And so they were fully into like Silverchair and a lot of alternative stuff. So I naturally had a really cool library of music to just start off with that I thought was normal until I started going around to my friends' houses, and their like parents listened to really lame stuff, and I would go home and they'd be like Smashing Pumpkins and like just Bruce Springsteen and just cool stuff. So I was kicked off to a good start, and then it was a lot of like alternative like Blink-182 and Newfound Glory, and I really just loved guitar. Like I loved guitar-y sort of stuff. Yeah.
We'll get to the Blink stuff in a bit because you kind of did a full circle moment with that.
Yeah.
So sounds like you just had cool parents, but also
young
parents.
yeah. But they were cool. Like all my friends were like, your parents are cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Fair. But was there a time where you were, in those teenage years or just finishing high school when you were like, yeah, I want to be an artist?
Yeah, I did, but the thought of even being able to play guitar, let alone play and sing, I thought that it was a thing that you just were born with. It's not something that you could learn. Like I was like, never would I know how to do that. Like, and then we got to high school, and some dudes I was hanging out with were really good at guitar, and they were like, let me just show you a couple of chords. And I was like, I was kind of into it. And then what happened was my brother went and had guitar lessons, and I thought I was too busy with all my friends and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to commit the time. But then Mitch came home, and my grandparents bought him a guitar, and he knew how to play stuff. He's like 6 years younger than me. And I was like, whoa, hang on. I want to do them now. So then my mom was like, we got to call your grandparents, and because they were the ones paying for it, whatever. Yeah. So I called them up and go, yeah, I want to do it. I want to do the guitar lessons now. So I got my guitar and I started lessons, and I had a really cool teacher too, because he kind of figured me out. He was like we had to learn the classical stuff. But then at the end of each class, he would be like, what do you want to learn? So I'd be like, okay, this riff to Enter Sandman, or this Alanis Morissette song, or whatever. And he would teach me. So I basically did the lessons just to get to learn the riff that he would show me after.
So the competitive sibling rivalry, and you were like, yeah, no, that's going to be me.
Yeah. I just wanted the guitar, to be honest.
Yeah. So you went from that, doing the guitar, and then you gigged for ages, and you gigged everywhere and anywhere, and the hustle was real. And then you changed your name to Amy Shark in around 2013. What happened after you changed your name? How did that change your career?
Not much changed for a good couple of years after I did that. I was just trying anything. Like I had a few different names, a few different, just trialing things. And when you're learning, like, I'm glad a lot of things didn't work because I looked weird. My songs weren't ready. My voice wasn't ready. I didn't know who I was. There would be photo shoots where I'd look very country, and then photo shoots, some random dudes told me that I need to wear more dresses. So I looked very feminine when that's not really who I am. So it was kind of good in a way that it took me a while, but there was something about Amy Shark that I've always loved sharks. Wasn't even me that wrote it down. It was my boyfriend at the time who wrote it down. And I was like, that sounds like perfect because it's kind of like there's there's a part of me in the Amy, and then there's this monster, and that's the songwriting person who is non-edited and just writes things. So it felt strong.
Mm. Speaking of strong, your husband was kind of there along the way and turned into your manager, and you kind of both grew together over the years. Do you think that this Amy Shark and your character and who you are today would be the same without him?
No, I wouldn't be doing it. Like I just wouldn't, because I really needed someone to help. Like I'm not business minded. I just like writing songs, and that's where it started. It was just super simple. And Shane loves music and is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. And he's also very competitive. We're both quite competitive, but he was not ready to give up. And he would see me doing it all the time for free. And I basically worked every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I could afford to go and record my own stuff on the weekends. So yeah, he just knew how he just believed in me, I think. And we didn't know what was going to happen, but there was obviously something there that kept him believing that I could do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, look,
Yeah,
bloody paid off.
I know. There's so many times I look at it now and I'm like, man, you really just need that one person. And if it can be your person, if it can be your partner, you can be a force to be reckoned with, because, you've got each other's back.
Yeah, totally.
Mm.
How do you manage that professional and then personal balance as well? Because if you're in each other's life like that, so much,
we want to kill each other a lot. Yeah, no, we do. It's like any marriage, but you have to we're really good at communicating, and nothing goes unspoken. Like there's no feelings that I harbor that I explode, and we just talk things through so things don't get big enough to make them a real problem. And that we just learnt that over time, and it's still super hard. Like there's nights where I don't want to talk about it, but he needs to discuss the calendar and I'm just sick of it. Or there's times where I'm like, hey, what's going on? I just want to know what the next month looks like. And he'll be like, I can't right now because I've just spoken about you all day and I just need a break. So we're just like, there's constant battle because it consumes our life, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of battling, you were a judge on Australian Idol, and not all the judges always get along, but do you think this concept of reality TV and singing shows, do you think that they can still make someone a star like they used to?
Obviously not to the not in the playbook that was then, like which even now, like I look at what happened with me only like about 6 years ago. My management at the time could forecast everything. That they basically looked at myself, the stats, the songs, and knew I'd be playing this venue at that time. The album will do this, and then you'll be doing this, and it all happened. It all played out. And I think that's what they could do with the shows back in the day, because you could control a lot. There wasn't all these other devices, and people just have so much to keep them entertained now. So it's not like everyone in the lounge room watching this one show because that's all you have. You don't have Netflix or social media or anything. That's it. So what I do think it can do now is it's just another way to showcase your artistry that might set you aside from the millions of other things that are happening. It's just another good leg up that you might as well do, I feel, if you are confident enough that you can navigate through it. And people have. I've watched them navigate through the show and have a pretty healthy start to touring and getting their face out there and their music out there. It's just what you do afterwards and how proactive you are when you're on television and capitalizing on that. You got to be very smart about it.
Yeah. People kind of write songs now for TikTok and like catchy stuff, social media stuff. Has that impacted your songwriting at all?
No, I think that would be the death of me. Like I think like setting out to be like, let's write a song that will work on TikTok. Or even I don't even think of live. Like I don't think about what it will sound like live. My main focus is from start to finish, do I feel something in this song? Does it sound good? Does it make me feel something? And that's all I care about. So, yeah. And it's just a bonus. Like when I came up with this string of gossip in a bridge for two friends, it's like Sarah told Becky, Becky told blah, blah. I was like, that's creative. That's what the song needs. Yeah. It's just a bonus that I played with it a little bit on TikTok. Like that's just a bonus.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that line because we're like, how does she remember all the names?
Yeah, with great difficulty.
Oh my God.
It's like no one speak. Amy's concentrating.
Yeah. Okay, before we jump into the album, I did want to talk about this Drew Barrymore impression you did.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Why do I do the things I do?
So I've actually got it here to have a listen to.
We have gone through archives of my old photography that...
Oh my God. So I too have been going through some Drew photography archives, and I found one that I loved so much that I decided to make it my new record cover, Sunday Sadness. This is Drew, and this is me. Aww. Thank you, Drew. I love you.
Nice. Someone killed me.
Oh my God. Have you always done Drew impressions?
That's the worst Drew impression I think anyone's ever heard. Yeah, there you go. I'm a huge Drew Barrymore fan. I really love I loved her like sort of rebellious years in the 90s of what she wore, and she was always in the magazines like out just like smoking and drinking. I was like, you're cool. It's so weird how that was cool. Like now it's not. Like now I feel like, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, the more healthy you are now, the cooler you are.
I don't know. I think it's having a weird flip moment with vaping and stuff.
Oh yeah, true.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got like the kind of inspo for your cover for Sunday Sadness from that. And it is a really cool cover. And it's very vintagey and cool. I thought that was awesome.
Great.
But yeah, I also wanted to know the name behind Sunday Sadness because a lot of things comes to my mind. But I want to know what's behind this name.
I want to know what comes to your mind.
Mine is Sunday Scaries.
Yes.
That's literally.
There it is. Whoop, there it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it means is firstly, it's just so difficult to think of a big, bold title for your album because all the cool stuff's taken. And you're constantly thinking, and it's such a broad, it is quite a broad album, and there's so many different moments in it. There's some sad moments, obviously, and there's some playful moments, and it's hard to like put them all together. But basically, I use Sunday evenings or afternoons to finish the album, like to really zone in on it, because otherwise I'd be sitting there overthinking my life, like thinking Sundays I just feel like I've screwed up everything. I'm like, I'm a mess. What am I even doing? Am I happy? Like, do I need to move countries? Where even is my passport if I wanted to do that? Where's my birth certificate? Haven't spoken to this person in ages. Haven't seen my nieces and nephews in ages. I'm useless. So it really hits me hard on a Sunday. So I put all my focus into the album.
That is a very good answer and
good.
Very relatable. I feel that with Sundays. Now, one thing that's probably not as relatable is you've probably been closer to a Kardashian than most of us will ever be because you've worked with Travis Barker on your last album. And then on your first album, you worked with another Blink-182 member, Mark Hoppus. And now, Tom DeLonge on Sunday Sadness. Was this part of your master plan to like literally bring back Blink?
I thought you were going to say to get close to a Kardashian. I'll tell you the first time I ever got close to a Kardashian, it had nothing to do with Blink, was the very first late night show I played was James Corden, and Kim was on the same night as me. And I don't know if you remember what he does in that show, but you do the door open of who's up next. So Kim opens her door, which was next to me, and she's wearing this beautiful like slinky number. and I'm literally in black jeans and a white t-shirt. And so we do that, and then I joked around and said, I feel very underdressed. And then she yelled out, "You look great, babe."
Oh my God.
So anyway,
Wow.
that's just a little something for you. But Blink, I didn't plan it. It just happened. I don't know. It's like the world told me that this is going to happen for you because Mark, he reached out to me. Like he was like, we have some friends in common, which was this lady, Alison Hagendorf, who worked for Spotify at the time. And he said, next time you're in LA, let's work on a song. So like I literally flew to LA the next day and was like, let's do that thing that you said. Did that. Then Travis jumped on and he was like, I love the song you did with Mark. Let me know if you want some beats for your next album or whatever. So I was like, yes, I will use you. So that happened. And then it just made sense to try and get Tom. And the funny thing was they weren't together. Like over the time, they weren't even talking.
Yeah.
So like Mark and I, like we didn't even like the discussion of the band or Tom wasn't really a thing. And then Tom was like, I'm going through a bunch, like when I was trying to get him on one, he was super busy he was making some movies and obviously the government and aliens and everything. And then by the time that I actually hung out with Tom a few times and I was like, oh, I want to do a song. He was like, he was on board, but I knew that he'd just told me the band's getting back together. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to get really busy. There's going to be a massive label that's going to probably stop me from doing this. And everyone's involved. So it really took me a long time to get the approval for Tom. So he was the struggle. He was the hard one.
Oh, thank God.
I know. Trust me, babe. Oh, trust me. No one knows how much I stressed. And even my friends were like, so you got Tom on the album? I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And deep down, I'm like, this has got to happen. It has to happen.
Literally.
Like, yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Speaking of other artists like Adele have said that they've written some songs that they will never perform live because they're too difficult to emotionally to get through. Are there any songs like that on Sunday Sadness?
There's a song called I'm Sorry, which is I guess the whole story behind it rocks me a little bit. Just sometimes I feel like I've made life really hard for everyone, but like as amazing as it looks, it's just not always amazing. And but I don't think I'll struggle. I think by this time I've got a really good handle on my emotions and how to compartmentalize my feelings and performance. But sometimes things take you by surprise. Like I remember playing at Kudos and I was playing Amy Shark, which is a song that's really heavy and it just overwhelmed. For some reason, if I let myself really think about it and if I'm really in the song, which you would think an artist is always in the song, but sometimes it's autopilot and you don't know. It's not every song. It's just every now and then it happens. But I wasn't. I was really feeling it this night and I was just like really choking up and just couldn't get a handle on it. But yeah, it takes you by surprise.
Yeah.
There's nothing I would never sing in fear of doing it because I would always think, no, I'll be fine. And if something happens, well, I'm human.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are there any other songs that you're really excited to perform live?
I'm really excited for Two Friends. I'm really excited for Gone. Gone is very like fast paced and ragey. And there's the last song on the album called Our Time Together. And it's a really cool guitar riff. And it's just going to be a really pretty song to play. I think I might do it solo, but we'll see.
You have announced the Sunday Sadness Tour, which is a headline tour happening in Australia and New Zealand in October and November. What can audiences expect from those performances?
Well, it's just like a really solid set list. And I think that's always been my biggest goal is to have a set list that is fire and like exciting. And you never want a boring moment. And even when they're supposed to be boring, that's the stripped back bits that I just really want people to love and just be in the zone. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a hell of a show.
Speaking of like touring and shows, a lot of festivals have sadly been kind of getting cancelled, and the music industry in Australia and festivals is really, like, sadly, it's just getting stripped away, these live performances. How important are tours like this and getting that chance to connect with your audience now?
It's so, yeah. I mean, apart from just your soul, like as an artist, you put all this work into a record and you just want to go play it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our job. Like that's the bread and butter. So it's really important for Australians to back Aussie music. It doesn't matter if it's at an arena or if it's down at the local pub or like smaller venues, any venue. And yeah, especially while we're going through this weird time where festivals are having trouble, standing up, and it really sucks. I don't know why. Like I don't know, but it's kind of like nothing good lasts forever, like everything. It's like I thought the big day out would always be around, and then that's not here. And I guess we always have to be looking forward, and hopefully someone's working on the next thing.
Some master grand plan
Yeah,
that we
I don't know.
about,
Yeah,
but
exactly. Yeah.
I'm hoping for that too.
Yep.
So.
I just know someone smart out there is working on some weird movement.
Totally.
It's going to fix everything.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Someone smarter than me.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Amy, for being on the Weekend Briefing.
Thanks for having me.
It was so much fun chatting with you, and we cannot wait for this tour and this album to come out.
Yeah, same.
Great.
Sorry for swinging so much.
I know.
I just realised I did that a lot.
No, I've got these little stupid buttons.
You've been playing with them. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
That is it for this episode of The Weekend Briefing. It's a place where we have the opportunity to get to know the interesting and influential people behind the headlines. We want to hear from you. Make sure you leave a comment below, like and subscribe. Catch you next week.